KD among current NBA players?
I still have him in the, excuse me, I still have him in the top 5. But I cannot put him ahead of Giannis. I cannot put him ahead of Jokic. I cannot put him ahead of Steph. And I cannot put him ahead of Luka. Skip, Giannis is a much better two-way player. He's dominant on both ends of the court. And it is my estimation that Giannis Antetokounmpo is the best player in the NBA. I got Steph ahead of him because I saw Steph do something that Kevin Durant couldn't do. He lit up that great Boston Celtics defense, a defense in which Kevin Durant struggled against and got swept by. I cannot put him against Jokic. Jokic was a 2-time MVP and drug his team to the 6th seed without his second and third best player. We saw Kevin Durant. Without his second player, he went against what he said earlier in the year. Nah, Kyrie not getting vaccinated. We can't have a part-time player. He acquiesced when he saw that what was transpiring. So I cannot put him ahead of Jokic, and I cannot put him ahead of Luka because I saw Luka drag a team to the Western Conference Finals, and I believe the Western Conference is a little bit more stacked than the Eastern Conference. That's just my estimation. So right now, I cannot have him. I have him at right now, he and Bron tied as the 5th best players in the
Tied? You've got a tie?
I got a tie between LeBron.
Really?
The mere fact that I don't have Bron at number 1 should tell you that I'm not biased.
He's like 64 years old.
I can't tell.
In basketball.
So let me ask you a question.
Right?
Do you hold that against Tom Brady his age, or can he play? Or can he get the job done? LeBron is getting the job done, although he did not play.
You always tell me there's a huge difference between playing quarterback in football and playing guard in basketball.
It absolutely
right?
is. And Bron is still at the peak of his game. Although he cannot do it on both ends of the court as well as he once could, he can summons up that drive for a couple of plays here and there on the defensive end. But right now, Skip, I have Giannis in front of him. I have Nikola Jokic in front of him. I have Steph Curry in front of him. I have Luka Doncic in front of him. And I just saw Giannis had 34 and 15. That's what he averaged against Boston. This is what KD did. 9 of 24, game 1. 4 of 17 in game 2. 6 of 11 in game 3. And Skip, you remember game 3? He only had 16 points. He took 11 shots, 2 free throws. Jason Tatum went for 39, and he had 1 shot in the 4th quarter. That's what your guy did. And 13 of 31 in game 4. That 13 of 31 reminded me a lot of the Western Conference Finals when they had that 3-1 lead. I didn't tell people. Go back and look at them stats. Like, hey, Internet, do what I asked you to do. Go back and look at the Western Conference Finals in 2016 and look at Kevin Durant's stats. 10 of 31, 12 of 21, and 12 of 31, excuse me. And I think he was 9 of 17, but they only scored 88 points. He shot 27% in those ball games. He was 31% in the 4th quarter in those 3 ball games. So what I saw in this series against the Celtics reminded me a lot of what I saw against the Golden State Warriors. So right now, Skip Bayless, I have him as a top 5 player, but he's
it sounds like you should have him as a top 50 player, right?
No, you got him. Now, I don't understand how this is going to work. I'm anxious to hear what you say because I remember just a month ago, and I think all you guys out there heard it, it was Kevin Durant. It was Kevin Durant. Now I'm anxious to hear where you got Kevin Durant ranked.
Yeah. So, I would also ask the Internet to do your job and go look at what little Steph, that this man ranks in his all-time top 10, did in games 5, 6, and 7 of the 2016 finals. Go look, please, go look at the stats. Go look at the 4th quarters of those games and tell me if you see a top 10 player, please.
Go look at what you did.
Top 10?
Go look at what he did in 4, 5, and 6.
10?
4, 5, and 6. This NBA Finals.
Yeah,
do your job.
Go, please. Internet, go do your job. Go look at what Steph Curry didn't do in the 4th quarters of this latest, the very most recent NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics. This man is over there just crowing about Steph Curry in this year's finals. He shot, you can validate this. See if I'm right about this. He shot 2 of 10 from 3 in the combined 4th quarters of all, 6 games. 2 of 10 from 3. This is the greatest three-point shooter in the history of basketball.
Did he win?
He revolutionized the game
I'm gonna do you like you do
with logo threes. He shot 2 of 10.
I'm gonna do you like you do.
2 of 10.
I'm gonna do you like you do me. Did he win? Did Tom Brady win? It would come from behind. He won 6 Super Bowls with 6 game-winning drives. He won the game. Did Steph Curry team win the game?
Okay, so again, let's frame this before I launch on everything you just spat out. Let's frame this with the fact that all the billions of blind witnesses out there, led by Shannon Sharpe, have sensed an opening. Oh, we can now discredit Kevin Durant because we've had to sit here in silence, suffer in silence for the last 5 years and eat it every time the guy on this side of the table said, Kevin Durant is the best player on the planet. And you had to swallow it. You had to suffer it because you knew it was true.
It was not
All
true.
of a sudden, you have a little opening and you're pouncing. You are rushing through the opening to discredit and undercut. And
I said the man is top 5.
top 5 tied with LeBron James, who's like 40 years old.
Okay.
So, okay.
You make it seem like Kevin Durant 22. You just told me yesterday he's 34.
He's 33. He's going on 34.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the point about Kevin Durant. I did say he was Kevin Durant because he couldn't against the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
And yet, at that time, I declared him not the best player on the planet
You sure
because I
did.
said, I'm waiting to see who emerges for the rest of the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'm waiting, and I'm still waiting, and Jokic was gone in the first round, and Embiid fired, and then he fell back. And then I'm waiting for little Steph, somebody who's now ranked in the top 10 according to the man across from me, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. I'm sorry, I just didn't see Steph being the best player on the planet in the NBA Finals against a team that clearly did not belong in the NBA Finals, a team that just went out and got the missing piece to its puzzle. And Malcolm Brogdon, if they'd had Malcolm Brogdon, maybe they would have at least been a legitimate Eastern Conference representative in the NBA Finals.
But they beat Kevin Durant team.
Okay.
So what is Kevin Durant?
Here's what came clear to me after the smoke cleared about what happened this year. Obviously, it is now painfully clear that, aw, shucks, as Kevin tweeted at me the other day, aw, it looks like Kevin and Kyrie have fallen completely apart.
So now we're going to blame Kyrie.
It sounds like Splitsville. Well, you blamed him all year because you said the Nets are tired of that man's bull jive.
Yes!
That's all I heard yesterday. They're tired of his bull jive. He wants out, and subsequently, the follower, who is Kevin Durant, to the leader, who is Kyrie, says, hey, if you want out, I want out because I wanted out from under you last year.
Oh,
Kevin voted to send Kyrie home. We
Okay.
talked about it, right?
Yes.
And then I'm sure Kevin was like throwing up his hands. They're going to go crawl back to him and ask him to come back and save us?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
And Kevin Durant was in that contingent that was crawling back to him.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was. I think he was out. So the whole team got wrecked by Kyrie's decision not to get vaccinated. Am I right? Because James Harden was clearly, quickly out. He had forced his way out of Houston to Brooklyn, and then he quickly turned right around and forced his way out of Brooklyn to Philadelphia. I've never seen anything like it, but at least he's won back some of my respect. We're going to talk about this in a few minutes. He is now, it appears, about to take a much lesser contract than he could require or command or demand with the Sixers to try to help the Sixers. So he wins back a few points for me for doing that. But he left Kevin and Kyrie high and dry because then they were stuck with the Ben Simmons that we had no idea. He was the X factor. Now it's back surgery. I didn't know if he needed sort of head surgery and back surgery. But the point was, how much did Ben Simmons play for the Nets this year?
He didn't play any.
How about none? Okay. So
Who
all of a
first guessed
sudden-
that one?
Huh?
Who first guessed that one?
Okay, I'll give you that. But the point is, Kevin got no help from that X factor, whoever that player was going to be, because he was getting little to no help from James Harden. And then Ben Simmons couldn't even play one dribble, not even a single dribble.
You keep saying James Harden didn't give him anything. James Harden was giving him 22 and 10 on a nightly basis. And when Kyrie, who was a part-time player, was giving him 27 on a nightly basis.
James Harden quit on the team? Yes, he did. Did he feel like Kyrie had basically quit on the team by refusing to play in the games he could have played if he'd gotten vaccinated?
Right.
Yes, yes, yes. So when they finally ran into the best defensive team in basketball, according to you, the Boston Celtics.
The fraudulent team?
Yeah.
They fraudulent, right?
Okay, fraudulent on offense because they can't score a lick. And your man, Jason Tatum, he's going to arrive. There's a seat reserved for him at the children's table? I don't know what it's reserved at. You said at the superstar table. I couldn't see it. I kept waiting for Jason Tatum.
He had a bad series.
He had a terrible series. Well, I'm the first to tell you that Kevin Durant had a horrible series against Boston because they sent wave after wave of football players after him. And Ime just said, just attack him, tear him apart, get physical with him, overmatch him in physicality and ferocity. And that's what they did. They took him all apart. I'm the first to say it. but that team psychologically had already been taken apart. I think Kevin Durant's body language during the first round of the playoffs was, my heart is not in this because nobody's heart is in this. We just want to go home. We want to start over.
Oh, see, now you see what you did now.
Okay, well, I just did it because that's the truth.
They sent wave and wave after Giannis, yet somehow he still averaged 34 and 15. They sent wave and wave after Steph, and he still got 31, 5, and 6, and he still was the Finals MVP.
Okay, just 1 year ago, they sent wave after wave after wave at Kevin Durant
and
they beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, they beat him in 7.
And he averaged 35 and 11. Are you kidding me? He scored 49 in Game 5 and 48 in Game 7. 49 and 48.
And Giannis outplayed
They
him.
were masterpieces. They were virtuosos. Giannis did not outplay him. I'm sorry, he did not outplay him.
Yeah, he did.
They did win the game because, as you correctly pointed out, it's 1-on-5. It's KD versus the world.
Skip.
It's KD or bust.
But it's been...
And finally, he hit the wall.
So
he ran out of gas in the overtime. Game 7.
Have we not seen historically great players? Michael Jordan go 1-on-5 against the Celtics, go 1-on-5 against the Pistons, go 1-on-5, and somehow still find ways.
Okay, he found a way. He took the ball in his hands with whatever he had left. He's playing like 48 minutes a night.
Okay.
And he rises and he shoots and he makes, I don't know if we still have that shot, but it's the shot that should have won the game. It should have won the championship.
You can
for
show
the
it 1,000 more times and they still lost this game.
He goes up and he's got a toenail. His little toenail is on the line. There it is. That was the clutch shot of the year, and I thought it's over.
No, you didn't.
No,
and you see,
there's a little toenail.
Skip, the man points out. Look at the official.
Okay.
The official lets you know right away it's a 2.
Okay, I got it, but I did not immediately see the official, and I fell on the floor and rolled over and said, he did it again. The best player on the planet is at it again. And I thought you were going to have to come in here and eat Kevin Durant crow the next day.
No way.
But no, a toenail was on the line. It's like just a microscopic little piece of rubber is barely touching the black. And that decided the championship because the Milwaukee Bucks were destined to go right on and beat the Phoenix Suns in the finals.
Whoa, Skip. You're in Brooklyn. That's a home game. Kevin Durant tied the game. You're in overtime. Now it's time for Kevin Durant.
Did you watch James Harden?
No, I'm not. This is not about James Harden. I don't even know why we're mentioning James Harden.
Well, we are because it was 1-on-5.
No, this is about Kevin Durant. You're telling me Kevin Durant is the best player in the NBA, and he's had time last year, he's had time this year to show you that he's the best player. Now, the guy that I've seen consistently do that is Giannis. The guy that I said that's consistently played his tail off and should be ranked in the top 2 is Nikola Jokic. So for me, and I saw what Steph did this year. I saw that with my own eyes against the very team that locked Kevin Durant up. I saw what Jason Tatum did. I saw what Jaylen Brown did. I saw what Marcus Smart did. And they had no answer for little Steph. Little Chef Steph. Wardell Curry. The guy that hosted the ESPYs. He said, I never imagined this.
Well, are we talking about the same guy who down the stretch of Game 1 at home in San Francisco went 0 for 5 in the last 6 minutes as they blew a lead? Do you remember this?
Yes.
He gave them a little lead, and then he blew it, and they were up 12 going to the fourth quarter, and you dared to put that guy in your top 10? I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be sharing this desk with you.
You should.
Seriously,
okay.
I am.
You should be embarrassed that your guy allowed Jason Tatum, because that was Kevin Durant's man in Game 1. When he hit the game-winning layup, that was Kevin Durant. You should be embarrassed.
Who is the happiest team in basketball? Who has the best culture in the NBA? Golden State with Stevie Kerr at the helm.
What that got to do with Steph?
This team was wrecked. This team was a disaster of a nightmare of a debacle. You know it, and I look at him. He's wrecked.
The team, hold on, not the team that's wrecked that Kevin Durant helped put together. How can that team be wrecked? He helped put it together.
No, he didn't. He followed Kyrie to Brooklyn. You know it, and I know it. Kevin Durant is the weirdest mix of dominant and weak of any superstar I've ever closely observed.
Now you call Kevin Durant weak.
Yes, he is. He's got a weakness to him because he is more of a follower off the court than a leader. But then all of a sudden, when it's time to lead on the court, there's nothing like him still in basketball. All I know is he chose in 2017, late 2016, he said, they just cratered against LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love. I'm going to go save them. I'm going to go save Steph's legacy. I'm going to go win them back-to-back championships because I want to take on LeBron in his house.
I want to take on LeBron. Now, I need to take on LeBron, but I'm going to need Steph, Clay, and Draymond to do it because I can't do it at OKC. I can't do it anywhere else.
Who was the MVP of those two finals? It was Kevin Durant.
Okay, but Skip.
Who took over the 2-game threes back-to-back years in the King's Castle?
If you don't mind me asking.
It was Kevin Durant.
So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So since 2017 and 2018, they have not played any more NBA Finals. So why hasn't Kevin Durant been another NBA Final?
Okay, well, I'll throw one at you. It's not exactly the NBA Finals, but did you happen to watch just last summer what Kevin Durant, the follower, not leader, did in leading our team to the gold medal?
Oh, my goodness.
Did you watch the games? Did you watch the games? All I know is we were loaded with NBA players, and all the NBA players from Devin Booker on down, Drew Holiday on down, when it got tight, they would just turn to Durant and say, go, it's your turn. Please take us home.
Skip, you know good and well.
Damian Lillard steps to the free throw line and goes clank, clank, choke, choke.
The man had a sports hernia.
So he couldn't shoot free throws.
Yeah, the man missed over half the season.
And
Skip, come on
Kevin
now.
Durant did what LeBron would never do. He goes to the other end on the inbound, the next inbounds, and he just says, give me the damn ball. Just pass it into me. And they pass it into Kevin so that two guys will foul him, and he marches right down to the other end, and he goes swish, swish, gold, gold.
Skip.
Thank you, thank you.
You and I both know. I love the Olympics. I love basketball.
Oh, come on.
But
it's a huge pressurized stage.
U.S. basketball.
Choke city.
But it's not the same. It doesn't carry the same weight as it does in other countries.
It is a global event. You kept telling me going into it, do you realize the world has caught up to the USA?
Skip, let me ask you a question. When Argentina won the gold medal over the Americas, they had a parade for them. They don't have no parade for the U.S. Olympic basketball team. The Olympics...
No, because they're expected to win.
That's my point.
And our team got in trouble again and again and again because your point was going in, the world has caught us.
But here's the thing. You look at all the other teams, and most of these teams do have current NBA players on them, have some.
Sure.
The Americans have all NBA players on their team. They should win. You got Skip. It's not like they got five like France. France, I think the French team, the France national team had 5 or 6 NBA players.
Australia had a few too.
Yes, we didn't have a few. We had all. Every single one. Every single coach is an NBA coach or a high-level college coach. So for them to win, that's not saying anything.
He took over the Olympics. He dominated the world stage at the Olympics. And I'll even give you this. Just by default, Kevin Durant is still the best player on the planet.
No, stop. Come on, Skip.
I couldn't see it. I waited for Giannis to show me.
He showed you.
Wait, Giannis really? He showed me during the regular season this past regular season. He shot 29% from 3. It was almost as bad as Russell Westbrook.
Okay, what did he shoot from?
He shot 72% from the free throw line. I'm going to remind you that Kevin Durant, just this past regular season, with all the destruction going on around him, thanks to Kyrie Irving,
it's Kyrie.
He shot scored a career high 30 points a game. That's pretty good, right? That's the most he'd scored since 2014 when he won the scoring title.
I know another guy scored 30 points a game at 44.
Yeah, but this guy had a career high 7 rebounds for the chaotic Brooklyn Nets. This guy had that was a career high. Then he had a career high 6.4 assists, which were 0.2 of a point more in the assist category than LeBron James had. Really?
But LeBron...
Career high. Actually, Kevin Durant, amid all the Kyrie-caused chaos in Brooklyn, had a career high in every category in just 55 games because he was hurt. But LeBron only played 55
What you try to do is that every time I give you something, you talk about three-point shooting and you talk about free throw shooting. There's more to the game of basketball than three-point shooting and free throw shooting. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a better basketball player. Can Kevin Durant play on the defensive end like Giannis?
Yes, he can. You can't play like Giannis. I'll give you that. But listen, Kevin Durant is no liability on the defensive end like other people I could refer to.
Skip.
Kevin Durant had a career-high 91% from the free throw line this year. Giannis was 71%.
Okay.
That's 20 percentage points lower.
But Giannis, what was the field goal percentage? What were they shooting? So Giannis is giving you the same amount of points. So you say he had a career high 8. How many rebounds did Kevin Durant have? A career high?
7. Yep.
Giannis averaged 12, 13. Let that sink in for a second. So I averaged the same amount of points. I double you up in rebounds, and Giannis had a career high, if I'm not mistaken, 5 or 6 assists. So what are we talking about?
If you took your basic GM poll right now and said, which player do you want going into next year, just for next year, it would be Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant's a scorer.
It's why
Kevin Durant's a scorer.
all the betting houses, as soon as the word leaked out, oh, he wants to go to Phoenix, Phoenix just rose up the charts in the preseason.
And Brooklyn going into the season, number 1. Brooklyn going into the playoffs, number 1. So what did that get?
It
So all
tells you that they're still saying, well, he's the best player on the planet.
No.
That's what they're saying.
I don't care what they say. What did your eyes say?
My eyes say he is, because he's the greatest mid-range shooter I've ever seen.
Skip, there's more than basketball than shooting the basketball.
Shooting, that's right. You try to discount shooting because LeBron can't shoot.
I'm not trying to discount shooting, but what you try to do is that all you want to do is highlight. What you try to do is highlight what Kevin Durant is good at.
I will give you Giannis is the second best player in basketball, and I still think Embiid's a little better than Jokic, so I go Embiid 3 to Jokic 4. I'll give you Steph 5 just because they did win the championship, slightly over Luka at 6, and I'll give you LeBron at 7, even at age 44. So that's what I got. Way to go. And that's the right way to go.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I am proud of
Kevin Durant is not the best player in the NBA.
Guys, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
We got to wrap this one. I know you could debate this all morning long.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.